Hey folks, welcome back to Maypole Farm, and it is early on May 1st. The cows should be fed. Yes, they have been fed. Therefore, they don't need to be fed. Therefore, should be fed is correct and equally incorrect. So, I have installed some more mowers, but just to show you the mowers that I'm thinking about purchasing, are the Poitinger Crossflows. And so the front mower for that is a 3.1 meter front mower. We already own a 3 meter front mower, so we could probably get away with not buying another front mower. But to get the set, it'd look nicer anyway. They need 230 horsepower, and our big John Deere has 225. We could probably run those. But given the time constraint, I think I'm still going to lease the Big M. I think. 23 grand. It's a lot of money. But it should get through the mowing so quickly. So I'm thinking we lease that. And I'm thinking that we lease a baler. 125 to 150. I think maybe we do the Fendt. 150 centimeter wrapped bales would be nicer than 150. And we use that, well, I say we use it, I haven't used it in freaking ages. So I think we lease one of those. Which is going to be 6. So it's like 30 grand. Plus that. Like 32 grand. Which in the grand scheme of things is not that much. Problem we have initially is to make good silage, we want between 4 and 15% moisture. Less than 4 makes hay. We currently have 21. Our best field 15 is at like 19. So we need to let the ground dry out a little bit. Got 2 chainsaws. I see chainsaws that I own and tools. No, I don't. I do. Okay. Well, let's sell one of those. Yeah, so we're going to have to wait a little while before we can do that. What we can do is start the ploughing. So, let's quickly check the sales. I don't know if you've seen, Scruffed has a video out on Oz's latest mod, which is like a used vehicle lot creating mod. That's freaking awesome. Do have access to test that, but haven't had to play with it yet. So, yeah. Definitely thinking of adding that in soon. That's nice. But what we are after, and this actually happens to be one in the sales, which is kind of freaky, is this guy. Yes, it's cheaty. I know. So that's a 3.4 meter version. So we could get the 4.9 meter version is 12 grand used. Why is it new? Be fancy. You 23 grand used. So we will get 23 grand new. So we will get the used version. Now, a bit of me dislikes changing options like this because, you know, if it's used, you can't suddenly make it wider. But it's a video game, so we're going to. One of you will tell me I should make it wider afterwards because it'll be cheaper to repair, but that's stretching my limits a little bit. So we're going to purchase that. We're going to hook it up to the John Deere. And this is partly why I didn't want to buy the mowers, is the John Deere needs to be ploughing like it's never ploughed in its life. Because just about every field we own needs ploughing. So, yeah, that's kind of a thing. So maybe we'll start off with ploughing a field while we wait for the moisture to drop, and maybe we won't actually get to doing the mowing in today's video. I don't know. Yeah. I get this into the repair area. Looks like it should just about be there. Feels like this is worth repairing. Bosch. Repair. Yes. You. Let's repair you as well. Yes. Good stuff. I will see you up the field. But my hope is that as we pass the hour of 8 a.m., the moisture will change. But I'm not sure. It's my first time actually playing with moisture system in anger, so we will see. We are going to drop the tyre pressures by pressing Alt-T, not Control-T, to give the tractor more traction. And then we are going to set up course plate. So let's found the field. So fieldwork settings, single tool. 3 headlands. It's a narrow field. Generate me a course. That doesn't look right. Let's try again. That looks okay, except we want to start working on the center because we are ploughing. I'll tidy up the corners afterwards, so that'll do us, I think. First waypoint. Hopefully it's got the working width right, otherwise we'll be doing it again, so we'll just keep an eye on it for a moment. And check that it does an okay job, and it's reinflated the tyres. That's weird. Interesting. Oh well, it's not like it's struggling to pull the plough, so we don't really need to worry, do we? That's going to take us 25 minutes, so 2.5 hours in game. That's fine. So it's possible that we won't achieve everything today because I'm recording this later than I would like to be. Let's just say that. again. I know. I would say it's a pattern, but it's actually because it's a bank holiday weekend here in the UK. So I just want to check that this lines up properly, and that should be about right for hopefully the hour changing, and I'm not certain here. Moisture system updates on an hourly tick rate for ground moisture, but that would feel sensible to me. So there we go. Perfect. Good stuff. Don't plough through my legs. That would be a grim injury. You can just run through here. I wonder if we own this intermediate strip of land. We do. We could like cut some of these trees down and replant some trees. Interesting. Right, so press and hold to get the moisture meter to work. That took me a moment to work out. That has not dropped appreciably yet. How the minutes ticked past. No, that has not dropped appreciably. That's annoying. Now, what we could do is make a start and ted the grass. That's an option. I don't know how I have moisture systems set up on here for tedding. Tedding reduces it by 2%, so that would get us not there. I don't know if we just make a start. The longer we faff, the more time we're wasting. And time is not our friend. Using the big M. So the frustration is I'm trying to use the big M to save time. So maybe we give it an hour. Let's lease this guy. Yes. Let's lease the combi baler. Yes. I hate spending this much fake money. And let's lease the Anderson. And my assumption is that that top field will dry out first, but we will just go check the other two. And this one's on a slope, so it might dry out quicker because slopes are taken into account, but this one was wetter, so. Yeah. 21%. We don't want to be cutting it at that, really. We might do a bit of time speeding up in a minute, if not. I'm ignoring that field because we're going to let that one grow on a bit more. Let's try this one. 20. Okay. Now, I think, therefore I am. Let's just check what the reduction is. So, you will have lost game sound because I'm out in my mods folder. And this is why I want to do a video on moisture system, because it's a fairly complex mod. Extensions, bale extension, and we're looking at a 5% reduction for 18 to 22% moisture, which, and then a 2% for 18 to 15% moisture, which I really don't fancy taking, to be honest. So I think Demi wants to speed time up. but I also don't want to lose game time. So that's 20%. Jeez. I guess that's the bottom of the hill, isn't it? So the alternative is we take advantage of how quickly the big M can cut the grass, because it's still going to be quicker, and head. We have a tedder, so let's mow the smaller field and head that. And maybe at that point it'll have dried out some more? Question mark? At least that way we're making progress. Because at the moment I'm just procrastinating. That's not helping anyone. So yeah. Let's just do a quick check on that. Yep, because this field needs ploughing as well. So alright, turn you on. Widespreading. Drop you down. And off we go. But yeah, we will need to TED this. Let's just jump out the back. And that's, yeah, 20.8% moisture. We'll need to bring the tedder and the windrower over to drop that down. We'll need to do it 3 times. I'm going to adjust the tedding percentage. Not heading it 3 times. Anyway, I'm going to get this done and I'll be back. Yeah, so if you haven't seen the video Scroff did on Oz's upcoming mod, you should go watch it. It's freaking awesome. So you can essentially drop down a placeable and you create it a little bit like an animal pasture. But used vehicles spawn inside it. You can configure how used they are, the types of used vehicles that spawn in there. You can sell your own vehicles, or you will be able to sell your own vehicles at them. Yeah, it looks brilliant. So I've not played with it yet, but I do think I'll probably add one of those to the map, because I think it'd be a really cool way of getting access to some used kit. And yeah, it just makes me think that, you know, if you compare what modders are doing in general, Oz stands out to me at the moment as a modder who's doing insanely clever things. And then you compare that to what Giants did in the last DLC. And I think I said that in maybe not the last video, but the one before. That I'm sure console players would happily pay the $10 for some of that functionality than some slurry spreaders and some poorly executed, in quotation marks, animal features, because they don't really interact. So yeah, Giants, pay attention to what modders are doing and maybe think about, maybe players might want that as DLC features instead of the things that you do. But we'll say things rather than the words that I actually want to say. Yeah, I'm sure there are other clever modders doing other clever stuff. I have some waiting in my inbox. Apologies to the person that sent them to me. Neurodivergent brain has, as I've mentioned a few times, been beating me pretty hard, and they arrived. I saw they arrived. Then I work and things and then forgot to look at them again. Apologies, as I said. I will get to them on some point. The same as we will get this darn thing out of the shed. think this needs some sort of weight on the front of it to run this. I think normally I have the loader on the front. I've got rid of the loader. There we go. Simples. Yeah. So not intentional, because I know you watch the videos. But my brain has been savage lately. I have a Facebook message from a friend that is now well over a month old that I have not replied to, that I keep forgetting to reply to. I have other Discord messages that I saw arrive and thought I should reply to that. And the problem is when you look at them, the notification vanishes. And yeah. And I, at least one of you in that conversation still watches, and apologies. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. I haven't completely forgotten. Just haven't got around to typing the response yet. So, yes. That's me dealing with replying to some of my messages in the form of a part of a video. But yeah, modders are doing so much to make this game, and it's always been the case, I guess, that without mods these games would die very quickly. But it's frustrating me more at the moment that I think that Giants released paid DLCs which are so basic, and then such a large fraction of the community can't have things like the stuff that Oz does, and other insert your favorite modder that does clever mods. So we are going to up that to, if I do 5%, it's not going to be enough. So I'm going to do 3%, and we are going to have to TED it twice. Because this is currently at 20%. So it is like old-fashioned Maze Plus, where you have to TED things multiple times. Now the tricky thing here is I can't see where I've been, which is going to be a bit of a problem. So anyway, we'll deal with it. You know, we'll deal with it. And this is, I haven't watched Tom Pemberton in a while again, but this is not unlike how they make their silage. You know, they cut the grass, they TED the grass, and they leave it to dry for a bit. And they then chop, well, windrow and chop it. We're not going to chop it, we're going to bale it. And I guess the baler does do some of that. But yeah, it's adding a level of that R word. Realism, if you weren't aware. Yeah. You know? So what happens in the real world, folks? You get your little tiny lawn tractor and you put a tedder on the back of it. No, you don't really, probably. But anyway, I guess the thing I shouldn't end up tedding it to hay by mistake. Should be okay, I think. So it's been a while since I did anything with this, so. But anyway, yeah. It's bank holiday weekend. It's actually the Monday, whatever the Monday counts as, Easter Monday, I guess. And I lost most of yesterday to migraines. And today was kind of a hangover day, which is always fun. But we deal with it, folks. We deal with it. And hoping that means tomorrow it's a not hungover day, because I do have most of the rest of this week off, which is kind of nice. I was supposed to be traveling for most of April, and I'm not now, so I've taken some time off, which is much needed. And yeah, we don't have anything planned, so it'll be kind of nice to just chill out for a bit. We'll see. Yeah. They nearly finished ploughing. Gross. Getting there. And I think it ends up... No, it doesn't end up... I thought it ended up mulched, but I guess not. Run you as well, and then we'll start on the next one. And we'll have a quick look before we do the next one at what the moisture's ended up as, because some of it might have ended up lower already. Some of it's probably already been tedded twice. So if we get out now, we can see, yeah, some of it's at 14, some of it's at 17.5. None of it's going to end up low enough to be hay, which is good because that's 4. So you can mow straight to hay. Most of you probably know this already, but like in old seasons, if you're midsummer and it's really dry, you can cut straight to hay, which, you know, kind of cheaty, but kind of fun if you can time it right. Yeah, it's kind of cool. I don't think I managed that many times in 19, the going straight to hay, but it's kind of fun. So yeah, we could ted this enough to get hay, but I'm not going to, because it doesn't feel right to me with running moisture system and stuff. We're tedding it just to get to the point where we can make silage that's going to be acceptably moist. And I guess for some background, you might know, I don't know if Scroff's talked about this, I don't watch many of his videos. There are too many videos to watch. I don't watch all of any of the channels that I often talk about. But the percentage moisture numbers are based on input from, so weird texture change there, based on input from Scroff. Hopefully he doesn't mind me saying that, because if you weren't, spoken about in the past, he used to work in the animal feed business. So your hay, I think, so some of it is dry, which is kind of weird. And I think he helped Oz with some of the numbers for how things ended up. So yeah, so that's kind of cool. So if you're going to sit there and type away hard on the keyboard that 15% is, then actually no, they're based on real numbers. So shut up. Okay, cool, good, well done. And ultimately, it's adult colouring in a tractor, so get over it. Speaking of adult colouring in a tractor, I'm going to get my old moisture meter out, check if our paper is dry enough. No, our paper is not drying very quickly. I think if it gets to 11, we're just going to go for it. with the big M and lease a bigger tedder and a big windrower, because otherwise we are not going to get this done. Because we have a lot to achieve and not a lot of time. And realistically, in this video, I think I'm just going to focus on this field. Just because I have not a lot of time. Now, that's been a common theme lately, I know. But yeah, so it's frustrating, but that's the nature of Oz's mods that we know and love. You know, it was always going to be a problem adding moisture system in that. I guess I need to be careful when I'm doing the headlands that I don't end up accidentally creating hay. But yeah, there's always going to be a problem adding the moisture system in that we can't just blast through jobs. So yeah. But we do what we can do, folks. We get done what we get done. And if we have to adapt the plan, we have to adapt the plan, you know? This tractor doesn't have this tractor shouldn't have variable tire pressure, realistically, should it? No, it shouldn't. Courseplay has 1 minute to go, so that's good. I think the flashing texture I'm seeing is actually the tines on the tedder. But yeah, so maybe what we'll do is I'll get the Courseplay to run the next pass of this. A little bit worried that we're going to end up with more random spots of hay, but anyway. Maybe we get the mower going on the next field, because we've only got 2 more fields to mow. It would be quicker if we didn't have to ted it twice and windrow it. Maybe we give it till lunchtime. This is a slow old process, and it is warming up and the sun is out, so you know, I've got the guns out, so sun's out, guns out, folks. Why not hay? Well, why not hay? Because it's March. That's why not hay. Yep. The jokes don't get any better. Well, we could hay, but why not hay is because it's March and because we're playing with moisture system and attempting to play in a realistic way, etc., etc., etc. But yes. Anyway, we do not currently own, I believe. We do own a windrower. Yeah, it was up at the shed, wasn't it? So we can windrow this. That's good. And then we can run the fancy leased baler over it. So that bit at least will be quicker. And clearing the bales will be quicker. So that's good. And then we'll be able to plough this because the plough has finished, which is also good. So some things are working, some things are clearly not working because, hey, no, not hay. You can stop making the hay jokes now. He says that I'm going to end up with half this field being hay, aren't I? Yeah. You know it. think I'm going to do a quick run over the field when we finish and just look at what their kind of average moisture is and just see if it's worth us doing that second pass. If it's low, I might not, but we need it under 15% on average. Now we could adjust the tether settings, you know, run the lines side, some farming magic. So what are we at? So some of it's at 20 still, which is annoying. Most of it's at 17. Yeah, some of it's not been TED somehow. So hopefully on average it'll work out, but most of it's at 17. So if we take another 3% out of that, it's going to be just under 15. So we are going to adjust the tether settings. We're going to run the tractor slow. Let's go with that. We're just going to take a little bit more moisture out when we TED next time. Headland, start in the center, generate me a course please. Good job. First waypoint and off you go, map. Right. Moisture thingy. 20% still. That sucks. Did I park the John Deere? I did, okay. Let's grab the corners of this field. Yep. That took longer to drop than I expected. Talks about realism and then he plows, lowers the plow on the move and going around a corner. I know. Because he doesn't actually play realistically, folks. He doesn't care because it's a video game. Said the quiet part quietly. It's good enough. Yeah, we can make use of that strip of land in the middle. We definitely, we could turn it into a very thin field, you know? So something that is glaringly obviously missing from our planting, if you take a moment to consider our planting, is root crops. And they are a part of our feeding. So what's your plan for dealing with that fella? Ah, the seagulls are out. It's the first time I've seen them. That's cool. Well, good question. Glad you asked. Don't really have a plan. The plan is no plan currently. Beyond that, we can buy them. That's kind of cool. So yeah, I might end up buying the root crops. Or that's so good. Oh, you're so much better than the crud giants do. Did I say that part out loud? I did, didn't I? Oh dear. Anyway, yes, the plan potentially is we buy them. We have the buy point at the animal dealer. So that's an option, that we buy them from there. Another option is excess on contracts. That would provide some root crops. That was a crash. +1. That was quite a good crash. Austin Powers moment. Fixed with super strength because life is too short. Reminds me of the times before I knew of super strength as a mod. So I would like to try and store this somewhere here. Spot over there, actually. Rental anyway, so... Isn't it? No, it's not a rental, is it? It's mine. Okay. No. Realism, folks. Off we go. Lost where I was going next. Well, I know. Ah, yes. You may have noticed that the cultivator is not in the yard. That's because it's up here. I moved it to make space for bales. Forgetting that we would need to come up here, well, not planning to actually need all this stuff, but because otherwise I'd have moved it beforehand. So the tedding is done. We have some hay, but hopefully that'll mix in with the grass just fine. It's interesting that moisture level is not what I expected, but and I think this random patch over here is actually a piece of straw, not hay. The brown stuff that I had earlier. Anyway, going to get Courseplay to TED this, because then I can get Courseplay to bale it as well. I think the 2 headlands will be enough. We'll start it on the centre. That should be fine. First waypoint, so just spin around, get into position. And I'm going to let Courseplay run this and then come back to you guys once it's done. The rest of the fields are still more moist than I would like, so going to see if they continue to dry out. So we will be back in a little bit. I might follow behind with the baler. Try that actually. Speed the process up. This guy should run the baler just fine. Yeah. Whilst we can. Bale size 150 centimeters. Go. Yeah, that's running. That'll be a good job. And I'm not sure how many we'll get off this field, but obviously it's the first of many. Yeah. And my first time properly trying to make silage with moisture system. Nope. Over the baler. Go. So it's 13%, which is fine because it's below 15. Should be good, assuming that I've read the XML or the Lua correctly. Yeah. No one likes reading Lua. A little bit more hay up here as well. The slight downside of using the round bales is they are slightly smaller. I don't think this is a continuous baler. No. Okay, so the main body of the field is done. We have 5 bales. One of them hit 15%, so it'll be interesting to see if we get less in that once it's fermented. So that, if I understand / remember correctly, is how it works. Once they ferment out, if the moisture is higher, you get the reduction. Most of them have been less. We'll go check the field moisture in a moment. We've just hit 12. In fact, let's go do that now. I'm not sure if it drops hourly or not. Still too wet. Okay, I am struggling to concentrate and get this finished, so we are going to wrap up here. I will be back next time to finish up this grass work. Thanks for watching, folks. Hope you enjoyed that. Thank you to patrons and YouTube channel members, and I will catch you all next time.